Here we go. Okay, well, welcome. We'll see if more people join, and if it's just us, even better. We'll have a more intimate conversation. Please feel free to turn your camera on, keep it off. I want this next hour to be for you. I want it to be comfortable. I want you to get the information you came for, and hopefully even a bit more. So let me just adjust my screen so I can. Oh, good. That's much better. So I can see you all at the top, and then I can see the presentation down here. So I am so excited to be here with you all this morning. Before I jump all the way in, I wanted to share that we do have Coach Gemma Wilkinson with us today as our community manager. So as you have questions, if you can put them in the chat box, there's a good chance she'll be able to help you out. But if you have questions specifically for me, of course, she will let me know. I've got my iPad here to the right. So we're communicating that way just to keep everything streamlined, and that I can make this presentation the best possible for you. So again, jump in the chat box here and there with questions, talk to each other if you want to, but then big questions, I will definitely make time at the end of the presentation. So at the end of this class, you will have learned all 4 of my masterclass promises. Let's start with masterclass promise number 1. We will break down what gluten actually is. Masterclass promise number 2. I will explain why you should avoid it. Masterclass promise number 3. I will share sneaky places where gluten can hide. And then masterclass promise number 4, I will share the best way to get your sexy back as we share information about a really special group coaching program. Can you picture me as your #1 cheerleader? Hopefully I'm good. I got a smile from Laurel. Hopefully that's a yes. So before we get too deep into the science and the info about the topic at hand, I did want to give you a heads up that I will give you a special opportunity to receive a bonus at the end of this masterclass, including an opportunity to win this Kale Yeah t-shirt. Woo woo. All right, and I wanted to start a little bit first, just by like a 30,000 foot view of the program that I will be talking about at the end, because I imagine you might be similar to me when you come to a webinar or a masterclass. You're like, you always have that little voice like, what are they trying to sell me? Like, what are we getting at? So I just want to put your mind at ease, because truly, I do want this hour to be educational and helpful for your own health journey. So I'm going to chat 2 minutes about Healthy Sexy May, which is coming up really soon, so that hopefully that will rest your mind, and then we can just focus on learning today. So Healthy Sexy May, it is a group coaching program. We're starting officially May 3rd. Doors close April 29th, and it's a 4-week program. And every week we focus on mindset, we focus on nutrition, and we focus on fitness. And I hold your hand the whole way. We've got the daily check-ins, we've got weekly group coaching sessions for an hour, similar to this setup on Zoom. You will have access to your own private portal where you have lifetime access to program videos, resources, recipes, and I show you how to do your personalized health assessment. So all of that is a value of $2,500, but for this time around, don't worry, I'm not charging that. I'm charging $355. And it is lower than a lot of other programs out there, the price, but I do sincerely want this program to be accessible to my community. So that is why I have priced it there. So again, we'll talk more details at the end of this presentation, but just wanted to give you the heads up. Hopefully that kind of relaxes that so you know what's coming in at the end. But now we can truly focus on the masterclass at hand. Okay, so me talking directly to you. I'm just asking, would you be willing to put away your distractions just for these next, I guess now we have 53 more minutes. So I want you to stay focused. so that you'll walk away feeling like your time was well spent. So I'm just asking if you could please turn off your cell phone, shut down all the windows on your computer, close your door, and let's begin. Can I get an absolutely in the chat box if you agree? I'm gonna wait for that one. All right, sweet. Oh, I see. I've got, love this. Thank you for your patience. Learning the technology as I go. Okay, thank you. Now I see the chat box on the other screen over here. Okay, I'm still with you. Great, thank you. We got lots of absolutelys. All right, so thank you for showing up live. That definitely gets more energy, gets me more excited to share what I want to share. But for showing up live, and hi, Kendra, great to see you. So grateful that you're here. Love it. So for all of you who are here live, you have access to a rockstar list to freshly stored veggies. This is my gift to you. You don't have to give me your email address. You don't have to pay for it. Coach Gemma is going to put it in the chat box for you. So you just click the link, download it. So I'm actually an iPad person, so I have it on my iPad to reference sometimes if it's like what did you really say about, storing carrots? Well, that's kind of an easy one. I know how to store carrots, but I keep it on my iPad, but you feel free to print it, put it on your fridge, put it somewhere you can easily access so that your veggies can stay fresher for longer. So that is my gift for you for showing up live. So thank you for being here. All right, so you are in the right place if you have struggled with belly bloat, if you have brain fog, if you get night sweats, if you get hot flashes, and other hormonal imbalances. You're also in the right place if you wonder if there is a connection between your hormones and your diet. You're in the right place if you've decided that this is the year to decrease your midsection. And you are in the right place if you know it's time to make a change to your nutrition. So whatever your motivation, I fully support you. I'm showing up today as your culinary nutritionist and your health coach, but I wanted to share really quick that I have other titles that I love equally, which is mom and wife. I have a puppy dog, Chloe. You might get a cameo by her in a little bit. She's definitely she thinks she's my lap dog. But that's my family on the left side of the screen. We are a blended family. Steve and I just got married 2 years ago. And because of COVID, our family moon got pushed. So we took this family moon just a couple months ago, actually. Another part of my journey is that I graduated from NYU in applied psychology. A few years later, I went to the Arvigo Institute in Belize and I studied with a shaman where I literally learned how to talk to plants, which was an amazing experience. A few years later, I went to the Interconnection Institute and became certified in meditation. And most recently, about 2 years ago, I graduated from the Academy of Culinary Nutrition. So now, if you're multitasking, my people in the back, come back to me. What if I told you that there is a strong correlation between the foods that we eat and our hormonal systems? And that making small changes can increase our energy and help to balance our hormones. It's true, but I'm guessing you already knew that. So let's dig in and talk. What's the deal with gluten? It's going to be your turn now. Like, who knows? What is gluten? I am going to share a poll, and I already know how smart my peeps are. So let's see. Oh, looks like this has already popped up. Was this up the whole time? Let's see. Natasha says no camera pressure. Kendra says she's been suffering stomach pains. Oh, goodness. And the belly bulge. Okay, Kendra, you are in the right place. And no, you haven't seen the poll. Okay, thank you. So let me click another button and see. I so appreciate your patience. Let's go to polls and quizzes. And relaunch poll. There we go. There we go. Here we go. All right. Now, can we see this poll?
Yep.
Okay, sweet. Thank you. Oh, we've got a lot of menopause hell in the room. Okay, you're in the right place. We want to heal this menopause. And I don't see any male-bodied people in the room, but if there are, and if there are people that have male-bodied people in their lives, just know that menopause is very similar, and it is a real thing, and it does happen to men over 40 as well. All right, so, and Reverend Regina, hi. She says the poll was up when she joined. Sweet, thank you for letting us know. Okay, so let's see. Is gluten a bean? Is it a protein? Is it a potato? Is it a made-up concept to scare people? All right, let me end the poll, share the results, see what my crew says. Okay, nicely done. Yes, this crew knows exactly what gluten is. Let me stop sharing. Get out of this screen. So yes, gluten is a protein that is found in wheat, barley, rye, and spelt. And why it's been popular over the years is because it acts as a binder. So often, like in baking products, really any cooking where you're using gluten, it binds things together. Sadly, because gluten is not farmed the way it was, 50 years ago, gluten attacks more people than we're aware, and it attacks our immune systems, it attacks our lower GI tracts, it attacks all different parts of our guts, which, by the way, our guts are what heals and gives messages to our brains. Our brains, by the way, are what control our hormones. And so it's all related. So if we can get that gluten out, we're going to have a much better chance of healing the gut, supporting our brain, and eliminating those hormonal issues. All right. So according to Harvard Medical School, gluten triggers an immune response that damages the lining of the small intestine. This can interfere with the absorption of nutrients from food. It can cause a host of symptoms and lead to other problems like osteoporosis, infertility, early onset menopause, which sounds like a few people in this group might be dealing with, and more. It also, as I mentioned, it affects our brains. Many people incorrectly assume that gluten specifically attacks the gut, that it's a gut disease, but it actually attacks our brains as well, and it's responsible for our hormonal communication. I cannot say that enough. So don't worry, I'm not going to be policing your gluten intake, but today I truly do want you to understand what you may be consuming. So also, as a warning, I'm going to actually take a little sippy sip. That gluten-free does not necessarily mean healthy. You can easily buy these highly processed foods. I paused because I just had this thought about these gluten-free Oreos, which I will admit I have tried. They are addictive. If you haven't tried them, do not try them because you might get addicted. And they may taste good, but they are so not healthy. They are so not brain supportive or gut supportive. So read your labels. Just because it says gluten-free does not make it healthy. Just as a heads up, a lot of the processed foods, even if they are gluten-free, they still can spike our blood sugar. So as you consider this gluten-free journey, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, just consider, just check your food labels and check all the food information before you're ingesting that food. So gluten causes inflammation. This is why I suggest, offer up, recommend that you should avoid it. The Celiac Disease Foundation estimates that gluten actually does affect 1 in 100 people worldwide. Personally, just because I've seen some of the results in my friends and my family, and of course myself, I think that number is a lot higher, but that's what they've been able to document. And speaking of my story, just so you know, not everybody knows me yet. Hopefully one day we'll change that around. But just in case you don't know, I tried to get pregnant about almost 25 years now. And we tried everything and nothing was happening. And so about a year later, my doctor was like, well, let's just try this little blood test. So I'm like, okay. And this, 25 years ago, nobody had really talked much about gluten. No, there wasn't a lot of research around, and maybe if there were, it wasn't out in the public field. So I didn't know what that was, but turns out the blood test came back, I am gluten intolerant. Whether I have celiac disease or not, that's yet to be determined, because my doctor said, why go through the invasive process of, getting a biopsy when the solution is the same, whether you have celiac or just gluten intolerant or have hormonal imbalance, the solution is just get the gluten out. So that is what I have done. 25 years later, I can live to tell that life is so much better on this side. I will tell you that in the past, and even now, I will say sometimes when we go to a restaurant and I'm not completely careful, the next day I can wake up with foggy brain. I can have debilitating stomach aches. My skin breaks out like right around my forehead. I get this bloating. I get these vicious headaches. And then I have this like onset depression for like 2 or 3 days. And usually by the second day, I'm like, oh, okay, I can think back to 2 or 3 days. I'm like, okay, I know exactly what I ate. And I know exactly how that happened. So I just offer that up to you, again, as you might consider the gluten-free lifestyle, but, just try it. See what might balance out or how your body feels without the gluten in your diet. Another big thing that I noticed when I took the gluten out is I slept so much better. All right. And I hear a little bit of background noise. If somebody has your speaker on, if you need me, let me know. But if not, if you wouldn't mind muting, I'd be super grateful. Thank you. All right. So let's talk about some of the sneaky places that gluten exists. I think most of us are aware of some of the obvious places like the bread, the crackers, baked good, pretzels, etc. But just another warning, always check the labels. So if you are going to try this gluten-free experience, everything I just mentioned, nowadays, there are so many delicious options, but make sure the package says gluten-free. So I said the bread, the crackers, the baked good, the pretzels. Yes, I do indulge in those on occasion, but I use those as, once in a while, like once or twice a week versus every day. And I don't have any of those, what would you say? I hate using the word good and bad. So how about those annoying menopausal symptoms? I have figured out how to balance my menopausal symptoms. All right, so I think this is a great time for another poll. Let's go over here. Polls and quizzes. Here we go. Which item is naturally gluten-free? Let's see. Community knocked it out of the park the first time. Let's see what you guys think on this one. All right, 4 people have voted. 5 people have voted. Can we get another one? Anybody else want to vote? Is it beer? Is it corn tortillas? Is it bananas? Is it soy sauce? All right, let me show you the results. Let me end the poll here and share results. Oh yes, This is a community of rock stars. Absolutely. So bananas. And that was kind of a gimme because it's a natural ingredient found in nature. The two that I think throw people off on occasion, even people that have committed to the gluten-free lifestyle, is corn tortillas, because you hear, oh, it's just corn. Well, sadly, a lot of corn tortilla manufacturers use wheat flour for that binding. So you definitely have to ask, especially when you go to restaurants, just ask the chef. They typically know at this point whether or not there's flour. And the easy alternative is just to put your ingredients in like a lettuce wrap. So oftentimes I'll put taco meat in a lettuce wrap if they don't have gluten-free corn tortillas. Another one is soy sauce, which is just still blows my mind 25 years later, because I'm like, why do you need to put wheat in soy sauce? Because tamari, the wheat-free version, literally tastes exactly the same. So tamari is an awesome substitution for those of my friends who love to indulge in the soy sauce. All right, so here are some other interesting, I'll just say, places that gluten hides. So envelope sealer, just like the regular envelope that you're like licking to get it to stick, there's a glutinous contaminant in there. So I always recommend using either just the sticky that you can buy from the office supply store, or wet a little paper towel and seal it that way. But don't lick envelopes, whether you're gluten intolerant or not. It's just gross. Who wants those chemicals in the body? Not me. Sounds like Kendra agrees. No chemicals, keep them out. All right. There are some chewing gum brands that actually use flour to coat their sticks to make them, actually, I don't even know why they use the flour, but I use Pure gum, P-U-R. I find it at Sprouts, Whole Foods, Vitamin Cottage, they sell it. So that's a great brand. The other brands, I just don't trust at this point. Salad dressings, again, just read the labels. A lot of ground spices, people put flour in as an anti-caking agent. So make sure your spices are pure. Instant coffee, I mean, that's just gross. So just don't drink the instant coffee. That's the easy one. Drink the real stuff if you're going to drink it. But we talk about the pros and cons of coffee in Healthy Sexy May, just as a heads up. So I'm not pushing coffee. I'm just saying, if you're going to drink it, maybe just stick away from the instant. Oh, and Laurel has her baby with her. Hi, kitty cat. So cute. And then a lot of hard liquors also have the gluten. So again, when in doubt, read the labels, go to Dr. Google, as I like to call it, because at this point, there are so many resources to find alternatives to have the deliciousness that you might crave, but also have the health benefits that will support your body, increase your energy, and balance your hormones. If you want more resources, I actually have a blog that I wrote, a blog article. I called it The Upside of Living Gluten-Free. So you can go to michellefox.com, go to my blog. And I believe Coach Gemma is going to put the link in the chat. So you can just click the link and read that article when we get done here. But hopefully that will give you some ideas on perhaps some fun ways to approach a gluten-free lifestyle. All right, so to recap, if you have belly bloat, if you have brain fog, if you've got the night sweats, hot flashes, and other hormonal imbalances, it may be gluten because it can be inflammatory. I will tell you, in our group coaching program, we talk about the sugar and the dairy as well, and we talk about how to manage that so that you can live realistically in the world, but also you can manage all of these yucky, for lack of a better word, just yucky symptoms, because I want you healthy. You deserve to find the answers so that you're feeling good in your skin. And, I don't think it's too much to ask for us to be able to feel healthy and sexy in our skin as well. So as you take in all of this information, I just ask that you keep an open mind. And also, don't just take my word for it. I would love to offer to invite you to perhaps just choose 3 days. Like, anybody can do anything for 3 days. Just take 3 days Avoid all the gluten for those 3 days and just notice how you feel. Of course, my intuition tells me you're going to notice a positive difference, but maybe not. But a lot of us have to see that for ourselves. So I just invite you for 3 days. And in fact, I'm going to pause and look in the chat. Is there anybody brave enough that will tell me that they're going to commit to a minimum of 3 days, zero gluten? Yay, Denise is in, Kendra's in. Woo, woo. Nicely done. All right. And if you find some fun meals or if you just want to show off your gorgeous face and post something on social media, please tag me because I would love to celebrate your journey and your good health choices. So nice. Okay, so one last poll, and this one is anonymous. Actually, they've all been anonymous, but you'll see why I mentioned that once I pull it up. The Great Gluten Experiment. Here we go. So, and again, I won't call you out unless you want me to, but you can choose. I will experiment with avoiding gluten for at least 3 days, or nah, you have not convinced me to put down this cupcake. Let's see, we've got 3 people that said yes. Oh yeah, you guys get the happy dance. Oh, we've got 5 people, yes, okay. Love this group. Okay, let me end the poll, share results. So, 6 out of 6, okay, so you know who you are. Let me know. And if you're not a social media person, send me an email. I sincerely would love to cheer you on. And of course, if you have questions, always find me. I'm happy to share more resources. I'm happy to share support. You deserve to feel good in your body, and I'm happy to do what I can to help you. All right, what's next? So, doesn't it feel powerful to know that you have the ability to choose health supportive foods? So now I have a question for you. Would you like my help? Are you ready to make new choices around your nutrition? Would you like me to help you increase your energy? Would you like me to help you decrease your belly bloat? How about understanding how to balance your hormones? Feeling sexier in your skin? I can help you find a community of support. So at this time, you have 2 options. You could try to alleviate your hormonal symptoms on your own, but you'll run the risk of being in this same place this time next year with similar issues. Or, of course, my fave, you 100% commit to learning new habits and to finally feeling sexy in your own skin. So now, for my people in my back, come back. Do I have your attention? If you are ready to finally feel amazing in your body, then I would sincerely like to invite you to join us for Healthy Sexy May. It's a 30-day group coaching program through the power of nutrition. So reaching certain goals can take a village, as most of us know here. I think from what I've seen in the chat, looks like most of us are over 40. So most of us are grown. We know when it's time to make a big choice, it's so much easier when we have that support. So by the end of this 30-day program, you will have more energy than you thought was possible. We actually have a couple people on the call now who can attest. If you want to ask anybody personally, we'll see. Don't mean to put you all on the spot, but you might be called on at the end. You'll have more confidence in your food choices. You will have a new support system. You'll have an understanding of your own hormonal profile. You'll have newly discovered pleasures. You'll have a solid plan to succeed with your health goals, and you'll cultivate an appreciation for your body. So here's just a peek at what you'll get. We already looked at this earlier, but just to get a little bit more in depth, I shared before, every week we work on our mindset, we work on our nutrition, and I always throw in a fun fitness challenge. And yes, I promise I keep things fun, but I also keep things educational because I truly, truly, truly want you to have the resources that you need to improve your symptoms and to have and to build the body that you love. With that said, we do have daily check-ins in our very private personal Facebook group. You also have a private portal where I share recipes and other resources. And then we have a 1 hour weekly group coaching session. That is going to be Tuesdays at 5:30 p.m. Mountain. But if you can't make that time, no worries, because we record every single session and it will be uploaded to your private portal and also to the Facebook group within 24 hours. So we won't leave anybody hanging. Nobody gets left behind. All right, so it looks like I clicked that a little too fast. I just wanted to share that I am still on this journey as well. So yes, I have learned how to balance out my hormones, but I still don't have all the answers for your particular health challenges. But I do have a proven roadmap to empower and to inspire your choices. There's also this unique magic that occurs with every group that we've assembled so far. I've never been able to find the words to explain it, but you have to experience it to understand. So, how much is this going to cost me? Well, I already shared that with you. So hopefully you were able to relax and enjoy the masterclass part. It is a value of a little bit over $2,500. And I will tell you that my fellow coaches have told me that I am charging way too low. And I say to that, yes, maybe that's the case right now, but I truly do want this accessible for my community. And so for this year, this is the lowest price I can offer this program, but I feel really good about this. I think this is going to be a win-win for all of us. And I want you to be able to enroll and start creating a body that you love today. Okay, so since I showed you the price of $355, that's the one-time payment. If you make that payment today, you get this beautiful Kale Yeah t-shirt. But if you want to do the 3-pay, you can do 3 monthly payments of $137 and gives you all of the same benefits. And then also, I mentioned at the beginning of our class that we have a special bonus, and here it is. So I produced and filmed a 4-part series called Traditional Foods Made Simple. And to get your hands on this series, all you have to do is sign up for Healthy Sexy May while we're still on this call. And no worries, we have plenty of time. Looks like we've got a good 20 minutes for Q&A. And in a moment, we'll open it up where you can ask me questions about anything we talked about in the masterclass or anything about Healthy Sexy May. So we have time, but just want to let you know all of your options. So you will get this bonus immediately if you sign up before we end today. In this 4-part series, I can't help but smile. It was just so much fun to make. But I show you step-by-step how to make these beautiful dishes, but I also give you the recipes and I also show you the alternatives. For instance, I'm looking at the crispy orange sesame chicken there. So to get that yummy crispiness, I use an arrowroot flour, which is non-inflammatory compared to the corn starch and or the white flour that other chefs have used that are very inflammatory. So you can still enjoy these delicious traditional meals, gluten-free and health supportive. So I would love for you to have an opportunity to get that bonus. And then again, the Kale Yeah tea. I had a friend, Julie Wolf, design this for me a couple of weeks ago, and I am just so in love with this t-shirt, and I truly hope you are as well. All right, you'll get that for a full pay. So again, we can do 3 months payments of $137 each, or a one-time payment of $355. You would just go to michellefox.com/group coaching, and you'll see all of your options. You'll see a little bit more detail. You'll see some testimonials from former students. Hopefully it'll answer all your questions, but again, you'll have plenty of time to ask me questions today as well. So just as a reminder, you are in the right place if you have struggled with belly bloat, brain fog, night sweats, hot flashes, and other hormonal imbalances. You're in the right place if you wonder if there is a connection between your hormones and your diet. You're in the right place if you've decided that this is the year to decrease your midsection and you know it's time to make a change with your nutrition. So right now, you might be asking yourself, is this the right time for me to commit to a program? Can I really reach my goals this time? Is this going to be hard? Feels like me. I had a little temper tantrum this morning about some tech issues. I'm like, this is hard. So if any of that is going through your head right now, just know you are not alone. And especially having a support group that you could have in Healthy Sexy May, we've got you. So I believe you are here for a reason, and I would love to chat about it. Let's chat about anything I talked about with gluten. Let's talk about anything I chatted about with hormones. And of course, let's talk about Healthy Sexy May. So if you have questions, please put it in the chat for now. I'm going to answer a few questions that have already come through. And then if you want to ask me a question live, you can do the raise the hand feature in a moment. So let me actually make this full screen so I can see you all better, and hopefully you can see me too. So we will do stop share. And now, oh good, now I can see many more faces. I love this. Hello, hello. All right, I'm loving your hair, Miss Regina. Excuse me, Reverend Regina. Love it. So one of the questions is, how long will it take me to get through your program? So it is a 4-week program, but you do have access to me for much longer through social media, through emails, and also we, in our group, I was about to say our team, it feels like a team as we get to know each other. You have each other as a resource as well. Do you offer a payment plan? I do. So as I mentioned, for the Healthy Sexy May, it's 3 monthly payments of $137 if you want to go that route. I am going to be out of town next month. Will I be able to keep up? Absolutely. And that is one of the beautiful things about technology is everything will be in your private portal, which you can access through your laptop, through your iPad, through your phone. I run my portal through Kajabi. So you can get the Kajabi app. You have everything right there. I believe Natasha says she watched and listened to some of my videos as she was cooking dinner, doing dishes. So I do my best to make this information accessible to my community. All right, will I be able to ask you questions if I feel stuck? Absolutely. So again, you will have daily access to me in our private Facebook group. You'll also have my email. You can DM me. I definitely make myself more accessible during our Healthy, Sexy group coaching time. And then the last question that I had ahead of time was, will you be offering this program next month? And that answer is yes and no, because the way that's answered is a little tricky. So I am offering it for the month of May, so Healthy Sexy May, but it will not be back until later in the fall. So my goal in offering it this time is that my community will be feeling healthier and sexier as we step into the summer. I know that can be kind of a tricky time. So if we can get our nutrition together for May, hopefully that means just that much more confidence in June, July, and August. All right, so Natasha, I see your hand. I will grab you in a moment. It looks like So Kendra, with your, it looks like your comment in the chat. Do you want me to read it out loud or you want me just to answer? Yeah, I'm okay. Okay, great. So Kendra says, I've been suffering from acid reflux, but lately I've been vomiting. Oh, I'm so sorry. And having massive stomach pains. I need to switch my diet again. So I need help with this. And I do have night sweats and belly bulge. Yes, Kendra. So full disclaimer, I am not a doctor. I'm a nutritionist. However, in my research and in my experience, I do know that gluten definitely contributes to acid reflux. I can tell you for most of my 20s, I was on, what's that purple pill? It's been so long now, but I was on a purple pill for the acid reflux. And I'm telling you, as soon as I got off of gluten and dairy, I mean, you see, I can't even remember the name of the pill because I don't have it. I don't remember the last time I've had issues in that way. So I'm going to be really curious to follow up with you if you're willing to follow up with me after your 3-day experiment, just to see if you notice any difference. So that's one thing to keep in mind. But yes, it's the gluten. I would also experiment with eliminating the dairy, the sugar. You don't do dairy. Okay, awesome, awesome. And then corn. Have you tried to eliminate the corn as well? And it's okay if you want to turn your volume on. Oh, and
I
Reverend
eat,
Virginia says, and soy. Yep,
yeah,
yep.
I eat raw corn, like in a salad, but I don't fry it. I don't eat tortillas. I don't eat wraps. I do the lettuce wrap or I do a spinach wrap.
Love that on the wraps. Nicely done. Ah,
Yes.
nicely done.
I don't do dairy. I drink oat milk or almond milk. And I make my smoothies with that as well. And I try to make fruit smoothies in the morning for my breakfast to try to hold me over for lunch. So I have my lunch. I do the meal preps for the week, and I have small portions because I can't eat large portions of food.
Well, sure. If you're having the acid reflux, I can understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I
So
will share. I mean, this sounds like we're getting more into personal coaching, which of course I'm definitely open to, and I'd love to work with you if that's what you're interested in. But from a high level, I would just offer the complete elimination diet. Because it sounds like there might be a lot of things maybe playing off of themselves in what you're eating right now. And maybe going off of everything for 3 days and then maybe slowly adding things in that might show you or give you some clues as to what might be causing that.
okay.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'd love to talk to you after if you want more resources, because I do not want you in pain. That sounds miserable. That sounds miserable. All right. So somebody asked, what is gluten listed as in the ingredients list? Gluten. If I read ingredients on packaging. That is a great question. Yes. So that's also where it gets a little bit trickier as well. So for instance, MSG is a glutinous product, but it doesn't come out and say gluten. I would say if you're going to be buying packaged products, then just automatically it has to have a GF with a circle on it, or it has to say gluten-free. Otherwise, there's a great chance there is gluten in it. I would also kind of push you back to Dr. Google and just Google, like, where is gluten? What is gluten? What has gluten in it? And that'll give you a whole host of resources. With that said, also, I talked a lot about paying attention to your intuition, because your intuition will tell you, like I think all of us know when we get quiet with ourselves, like we all knew that a banana is gluten-free because it's coming from nature. We all know that, the fruit in Kendra's shakes are probably gluten-free. They come from nature. And there, I will say, there are way more foods that are gluten-free that are not. So I definitely want to caution you from thinking, oh, I have to be in this box. You don't. There's so many gluten-free foods that can support our brains and support our health. All right. So Natasha, you put your hand down. Did I answer your question, or do you want to come?
Yeah, I was
Okay.
trying to figure out, yeah, when you look at packaging or is it another name or does it just say gluten or
Yeah. So
gluten-free is what you're saying? So make
yeah.
sure it says gluten-free. Is that the best way to go?
Yes, if you're doing the packaged foods. Of course, my first recommendation is always to make your food from scratch.
Mm-hmm.
With that said, I know that all of us have very busy lifestyles, so that's not always possible. But yes, if you're buying anything in a can, anything in a package, we want it to say gluten-free on that package. All right, do we have any questions about the masterclass with the gluten and or the hormones? Do we have any questions about Healthy Sexy May? Do we have anybody who wants to win this Kale Yeah t-shirt for staying at the end? All right, Kale Yeah. Woo, woo. Okay, here we go. So my very scientific way of doing this, I'm just going to do it eeny, meeny, miny, mo in these squares. So eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a tiger by her toe. If she hollers, let her go. My mother said you are it. So Laurel is the winner. Nicely done, Laurel. Sweet. All right. Well, if you wouldn't mind, actually, you know what? It might be easier since I have your email. I'll send you an email. I've been having email issues this week to get your size and your mailing address, and we will take care of that for you. All right. Well, anything else before we close down today? Kale, yeah, Natasha says. I love it. All right. Well, you guys have been amazing. This has been a beautiful session, and I'm so grateful you showed up for yourself. I'm so glad you showed up for this masterclass. And if there's any way I can be of more support, honestly, please don't hesitate to let me know. You deserve to feel good in your body. Thank you, Reverend Regina. Why do I keep saying, yeah, Reverend Regina? I heart you back. All right. I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a good one. Bye. Let's see. Stop sharing. Stop recording.